Folks, it's the Lazy Gardener here from Soilless and Self-Watering, and we are down in my basement where we will be preparing to start this year's tomato plants. This year, as opposed to other years, instead of using a whole bunch of individual pots, we're going to use my favorite thing, the rain gutter. The rain gutter will sit here, which will be slightly below the surface of our wonderfully home-milled live edge ash slab. We have, I believe, 10 heating pads this year, so we'll be able to start 10 trays with heating pads to get the germination going faster. And then as, excuse me, per the usual trick, we will have a wicking strip then run into this, pull the water in. But of course that won't work as there are no ends. So I'm not sure how many people know how to put the ends on, but you have a left and a right. It looks like this. It matches the end here. You slide it on like so, and then you simply drive a sheet metal screw through it such that it won't fall off, and then, as we'll show you in a bit, you seal it up with gutter cement. So we'll show one and then we'll do the other 5 off camera. And that's where magnetic bits come in handy. I just hope I can find that because I have exactly 6. Just a little bit clumsy. You know what? I think it'll be easier to put the bottom one in. Ta-da! Alright, so we have the 3 screws in, as you can see. But that won't hold water because this will leak like a sieve. So you use gutter cement. And we're just basically going to run all the way around here, all the way up here on both sides. And sadly, it would be nice if I had about 6 or 7 of these to do, because once you cut it open, it doesn't necessarily keep all that well. We'll go ahead and show you how it's done. If you have a decent caulking gun, you'll have a nozzle cutter right there. Never wonder what that hole's for. It's to cut your nozzle open, like so. And then it should have something like this up front. I don't know if you can see in there or not, but there's foil keeping it from getting air in there and getting solidified. And you just poke this in a couple of times, drop it in there, flip that back around, and then hopefully, there it comes. And then we just do this. Stiff stuff. And much to my surprise, clear. Alright, this is one of those cases where neatness is nice, but it doesn't count. What's most important is that you're contacting here and here, and there's no gaps in between. It goes all the way around. As you can see, don't move. Ooh. Both sides are that way. And what will happen now is this is simply going to sit right here and dry. As you can plainly see, it sits lower than a deck. Our Steed solders will sit here. The wicking material will run in here, go in there. This will actually sit over just a little bit. We'll drill drip holes because if you recall from last year, we discovered that it will actually pull the water up and fill this and flood your Steed solder cells if you don't give it a way to return back to the reservoir. So one of the things we will do this year, I discovered last year putting pine in there, was that while the pine got a little, we'll say rancid, the boards did, I did not get any white fungus, or not fungus, white mold, which I tend to get in the basement sometimes. So we're going to run an experiment with a small cell over there without the pine, see if I get the fungus, and see, I'm going to just get some pine shavings that I use for the chickens, put them in a sock, throw them in there, because I don't know if you know this or not, Pine Sol, which I'm not going to put Pine Sol in there. Pine Sol is a natural disinfectant. Again, pardon me. Then the next step, if you look up here at the ceiling, I've got brand new lights. We're going to hang some lights. We'll show you that off camera. Might show you installing one. And then we'll get some extension cords over here for the heating pads. And we'll show you the full setup once we start the seeds. So until next time. Alright, something I didn't meant to add. Of course you know that I have the rain gutter garden at the experimental plot. This year we're going to do something a little different. They don't have to be transplanted. I have 2 test wicking strips that I'm going to have in 2 of them. This one has cotton sewn inside the non-woven cloth, which I use typically for potato bags. This is just the potato bag cloth. We'll run a test a little later on. We'll show you which of the thought is this will wick better, so we're going to put these in a glass of water with a regular piece of cotton. Of course, we know cotton will wick just forever and a day. And this year's experiment will be that. We will have 3 of these buckets with one of these, and the regular blue jeans, and the other 3 buckets will have the hats, experimental hats and bags that we're testing with hopes to market. Excuse me again. But to double down on my sheer ignorance, if you will, we won't be doing any of the dirt experiments like we did last year. This is strictly going to be wicking strips. So it's just going to be potluck for dirt with Miracle-Gro Shake and Feed. But we are going to put in probably the last tomato plant in the world you should try to container plant, and that would be the Burpee Super Sauces. The idea being that given enough, all the nutrients and all the water it needs, we should get a decent return on tomatoes. We'll find out. Until next time.